Welcome back to 300 Seconds. Cannabinoids are back in the spotlight, not because of their popularity as recreational drugs, but because of their expanding role in conventional medicine. Many researchers have shown that these drugs can be used as anti-cancer agents, regulating through cell signaling pathways. These studies have taken on multiple success in demonstrating anti-tumorous effects on cancer cells grown in vitro as well as in vivo animal models. But the question is, can these beneficial properties of cannabinoids outweigh the risks of adverse events and shed light into its regulation?
34.8% of Australians aged 14 and over are reported to have used cannabis once or more in their life, making it the second most used drug after alcohol. However, scientists are slowly trying to decriminalize this drug by putting it into good use through medicinal applications. Cannabis sativa and its psychoactive compound delta-9-THC is a type of cannabinoid extracted from the plant known to give recreational uses the high sensation. Another major cannabinoid that exists inside the plant is cannabidiol, which produces the completely opposite effect to delta-9-THC through its antagonistic and inhibitory effects. Together, these cannabinoids work in conjunction to yield a promising treatment for cancer therapy-related symptoms such as nausea and vomiting, as well as the potential to control various cancers.
Mary, can you tell me a bit about your experience as a victim of breast cancer? I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer about 2 years ago, and ever since my life has changed.
Mary has inherited a BRCA gene mutation that has caused her cells to grow abnormally in her breast tissue. Although this is a highly aggressive and metastatic cancer with a poor prognosis, she fought every day, refusing to give up, to finally win the battle against cancer.
I've gone through many cancer therapies, which has given me really bad side effects. I've also given up my breast to finally get rid of the tumor, but I was told it is likely to come back. So until then, I'm currently working with researchers to find an alternative therapy for others out there like me. There are many patients out there fighting cancer just like Mary, who goes through the same horror and nightmare of cancer pain and side effects of chemotherapy. With the current improvement of medical marijuana researchers, Mary and others can finally end their suffering from these nasty cells. But how can this plant help save millions of lives?
There are many ways these psychoactive compounds extracted from cannabis interact with receptors on cancer cells. Two known types of receptors that cannabinoids interact with are the CB1 and CB2 G-coupled protein receptors. When cannabinoid bind to these receptors on cancer cells, it allows for the initiation of a certain cell pathway, which researchers have discovered that it induces anti-tumorous effects such as induction of cell death, inhibition of cell growth, stopping the spread of cancer, and inhibiting metastasis and angiogenesis.
Cannabinoids can specifically target cancer cells due to the higher density of cannabinoid receptors expressed on its cell surface and the difference in cell composition compared to normal cells. When cannabinoids bind to the cancer cell receptor, it inhibits certain stages of the cell cycle and induces apoptosis and proliferation. In addition, the binding of cannabinoids stops the stimulation of the vascular endothelial growth factor pathway, which is responsible for providing nutrients for cancer cell growth. Blockage of this pathway inhibits angiogenesis, which leads to cell death and preventing cancer cell migration. In triple-negative breast cancer, the activation of cannabinoid receptors cause cell cycle arrest at the G1 and S phase, preventing proliferation and programmed cell death. Moreover, the changes of multiple intracellular kinases and chemokine pathways ultimately stops angiogenesis and metastasis. All these anti-tumor action was observed through xenograft and mice models and evidently showed significant reduction in growth, migration, and the number of cancer cells. Interestingly, cannabinoids' anti-cancer activity is not limited to specific tumor types, but have a general mode of action. In addition to anti-tumor effects, cannabinoids exhibit anti-emetic effects which can be beneficial for chemo-treated cancer patients. The possible regulation of cannabis draws a strong debate from both sides of the issue. Arguments for both the legalization as well as against legalization are profound in their respective cases. The main issues opposing the regulation of cannabinoids involve a strong concern for cannabis use in psychiatric disorders, as well as public safety, addictiveness, dependence, and drug diversion. Counteracting these negative concerns are the potential benefits with the further study of cannabinoids, including its antiemetic effect, pain relief, anti-tumorous effects, and as a strong potential anti-cancer agent. However, with the potential benefits that occur alongside the further research of this drug, regulating medicinal marijuana can possibly be the key in the future approach for cancer treatment.
Side effects that comes with the potential drug abuse. Cannabinoids can be extremely beneficial if developed and studied further. Therefore, the regulation of this drug should be considered as long as appropriate control methods are put to use and the main purpose of developing efficient cancer therapy with the use of cannabinoids is established.